coding if we do it for a single time. So basically, the user is going to go on a link on their smartphone, and it would go to the page. So, and then we would use PHP to determine whether or not it's a smartphone or rather the screen resolution size, and pick which style sheet is going to use that.
Which browser are you testing on?
Currently we're running through all of them, but we'd like to use have it work for at the very least Chrome, Firefox, and the Safari would be our ideal. And seeing as the smartphone apps run very similar to those.
You got tested in IE?
Yes, it actually does work pretty well in IE. Now, the primary goal for the client is smartphone. However, the Tor actually does work in IE. We're having a couple little bugs with it, obviously, but for example, the more information bug, we're having a problem with the pop-up HTML link. However, we have been testing on all the browsers, of course. We don't want to have one browser that doesn't work. But ideally, if we had to pick, those would be the three that we would want to work for. So see, it does come up in IE. The problem with it is if you go there and try to put more information, the way we have it set up, it's doing a pop-up window. There is a way to implement it so that, because IE just uses a different function call. Basically what it does is, when you click on more information, it does a window pop-up of the maximum resolution. It looks really nice on smartphones because you can still see the map behind it. But so when you close it out, you can tell that you don't have to reload the map page essentially. So it's a little function called on that. But yes, it's working fine with IE. The reason I mentioned those three is those are the three that we absolutely want to have working. But we're pretty sure we can get it working for
you said you picked PHP, MySQL, and Google Maps for your platforms. What other platforms did you consider that offer the same functionality? Why did you choose the ones you did?
Well, we originally for the map tried to do it with Canvas, which is a new element in HTML5. It would basically have the same similar format. The problem with it was it was a geolocation. No, we could use geolocation. The problem was basically when we were using the Canvas stuff, it worked okay. We had a couple of bugs with it, but then we found out Google Maps API pretty much did everything that we wanted it to. And it's much simpler code. It's got a fantastic online library for it, and it had the make map path between points thing. So instead of having to use the canvas to draw lines between each one, we can just do one function call. So those were the two we were debating with. We actually were using Canvas for a while and decided to switch over because it was just basically everything that we were writing had already been like we had still had to write a fair amount of code for this, but it wasn't tedious code. That makes sense.
So you picked MySQL. Why pick that instead of Postgres or any other version of it?
Well, that was the one that we worked with the most. It was already set up on another server, so that's one of the main reasons we chose it. There wasn't we just needed to use a database. It served our needs, so we didn't have any special cases really. All we needed to do was hold the data, so we chose that. Any other questions?
Did you map out any kind of system architecture? Like this is how it's going to set up in the future. I realize that you have a dev environment here,
right?
But is it going to stay in computer sciences?
No,
servers?
It's going to move over to the Mercer IT department, I believe.
Okay. So how does that transition work? Is that out of scope of this project?
It should. I think we'll be able to. All we would have to do, basically, besides obviously transferring the files over, the only thing we'd have to do is make sure we have a section on it that's has PHP enabled, and put MySQL on it, and then that's the only issue we're having. The rest of it is just transferring the files over.
Why worry about Flickr? I heard Flickr a couple times. Why worry about sort of tying yourself to that sort of technology? And since you already have your pictures local, I mean, if it's easy enough to say here, put these here, and just sort of have code sort of pick up the files for you, and you can obviously use jQuery some, so you can sort of do those things even on the same sort of widgets. Why worry about Flickr or worry about external?
The main reason is because the admissions office already has several Flickr accounts set up with a lot of pictures already in them. And so instead of burdening our website with holding all those files and loading all those files, we're just going to use the embedded Flickr that they already have. slideshow because we don't want 80 pieces of information for one media page. And so if we want to just talk about pre-flight and they choose that one, then it'll bring the Flickr count up and it has the information about it in text underneath, but then they can just cycle through the pictures that they have there. The main reason is it's already set up by the admissions office for a Flickr account with a lot of images.
You also go back to the slide. Like how it's spelled out.
The next one. This one?
Yeah, I just need to look at it from this.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions. Tying off what you were saying. So, the plan is when you finish the project, you're going to move it over to Mercer's IT. Are they part of this project that you coordinated with them to let them know that you're going to do this? And do they understand what the requirements are?
They know that we're going to move it over there, but we have not told them the requirements. We have, yes.
Are they involved in your project when you do your project planning and your updates?
No.
And then, all right, so if they're going to host it, are they going to support it?
What do you mean, like, support?
Yeah, so if code needs to be updated or functionality needs to be improved or they need to do some type of move out or change,
Right.
Who is going to support that?
I'm guessing that they would be responsible, or the way we were understood is we would set it up in a way that it would be easy to implement, and then the admissions office would get someone to update it if they needed to. We're trying to design it so that it's not like basically they don't go in and they don't know what's going on. It's going to be very easy to tell what to do.
And my last one with that is like the data dictionary, and the system documentation, showing the data flow. Are y'all doing that and going to provide that as part of the turnover to TSS?
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
Once you have a copy of this running in production and you want to make updates to it, do you have a plan for how you're going to update the running system, such as if you need to make database changes or changes to the Flickr files without?
The reason we're doing the Flickr files is that if the admission office wants to change the images of it, they don't even have to touch the core. It basically will automatically update. The way that it would work is you go to the media page and it would go to the Flickr account and bring down an embedded all these slideshow from the Flickr account. So basically, if they do any changes in the Flickr account, it will automatically happen to the page. And then there was the Flickr account and then the database. The database, well, that's what Michael's POI editor is supposed to be able to do. It's a graphical interface, so if they want to add a location, they can easily put it in. Yes.
So how do they add, like if they're adding a new POI, does that mean that they're going to do a Flickr account or they have an option to add?
Well, the Flickr account is just one type of media that might possibly be on a Google page.
So yeah, okay, you have a way to specify that as as potential media for the page itself.
Exactly.
Are you using source control? Are you all using source control?
You know, like SVN or currently we were setting it up and we had issues with it, so we have offline versions of it, but not a specific version control software. We do have many backups.
Does the department supply source control for projects like this?
We have backup. Currently, we have backups that I know service like Cobra and then a couple of servers are working on it. We have backups that happen. So yes, there are certain backups. But well, not version control, but like if we lost all our data, we would get it 1 day prior. We wouldn't lose anything. But we have a lot of offline versions in lots of different places. Basically, every time we make a big update, we have a zip file with all the current state of everything.
Did you consider any of the online free source control projects like Git or any others?
We did. One of the we just had issues coordinating it with our version. We tried for a while and it was taking a while to get it to implement. So we had a kind of a slow start at the beginning of the semester. We wanted to get so we basically came up with have a lot of different backup copies on our local machine.
Did you you have any specific problems like with GitHub or anywhere like that?
It was just it was a problem with like checking out with we used SVN. We didn't use any online, but we had a problem with checking out and checking back in of things. It would check it out, but it wouldn't actually check it out. It was the way we set it up. I think was incorrect. Yes, Dr. Allen.
I have a few questions here.
Of course.
And this is a question I wished I'd asked while Kelly was still here. On that analytics page where you're getting student name and their email, did they discuss anything about putting a skip a button to skip?
We brought it up with them. They really want to have that implemented in there. They were pretty adamant about.
So I could go in as Yogi Bear.
Yes. But the same thing goes with the regular tour, because they just give you a sheet of paper. If you want to write Yogi Bear on a sheet of paper, when you do the actual tour, it's the same
So if you leave the fields blank and go,
You don't have to submit any.
Yeah, there's also a click here button at the bottom that's going to, like, if you want to skip it. So we're not having a skip button, but there's a way to get back. Like, that's kind of our compromise. Like, it doesn't imply that you can, skip, because we would like them to give this information, because the client really said that they really wanted that information. However, having a click here to view the tour campus button will allow them to go past it and provide it that way.
on your slideshow, can you find a picture of your rendering of the slideshow?
Go down.
No, I'm talking about the smartphone, the page information.
Oh,
Like the computer science building,
okay, the media
the
page.
media page.
Yes.
That guy.
Just click here and click on application. Oh, you want to start? Yeah, I have it on.
Go ahead and click that in more information. Okay. When I see that, I see a ton of white space.
Right. That's one of the main thing we need for it is just doing styling stuff. The main thing with the media page is getting the carousels and switching images working. And now that that's working, we're going to basically redo the
So
style.
most of that top space should be the picture.
Yes, it will. And if you look at the design that we have, we're going to stress that out. It was just, we focused more on trying to get the functionality of the switching before we did all the aesthetic choices. We wanted to focus on the functionality and then we wanted to the aesthetics.
Okay. And my last question was dealing with how does the client update things, and you say for adding pictures, they just add pictures to
Right.
If they wanted to change the text right here, what do they do?
It would change the text in the text file that goes along with the media.
How do they get to that text file and edit it?
The same way that they would add, like, you remember how she was asking about the moving files? We're going to have a file structure that the database is actually just giving the pages a link to. It's not actually holding the files, so they can go in and change the text in those files instead of trying to do any SQL commands.
You might consider a web interface with form fields and submit buttons for that.
We could do that, yeah.
Is that in your particular model? Does that mean that they're going to have to? When I see a link, does that mean that they're going to have to put HTML in there? Like they need to know some basic HTML to do it, or is it just?
For this portion of it, what we'll probably do is have a basically location where you can put if you want to link it there, it'll basically automatically. I think the way we were going to do it is we're going to basically have this, or for the more information, since it would be very similar for each location. You just put the name of it here. Basically, this would be a string, and then they would have their location where they would put their URL, and they would have the rest of the string, so it would splice it all together. So they wouldn't have to know it; they would just have to know the URL. Yeah.
If Mercer decided they wanted to have a graphic artist take a look at this website to kind of clean it up some, do you give any consideration to how they would? It's just all going to be through Steve. I mean, would they just need to get a copy of the entire thing? Is there somewhere they could update the styles through the site, or is everything in one style sheet?
No, we actually have different style sheets for each. We have different style sheets for the information page, the map page, and the media page.
Where are you using different style sheets for each one?
Sorry, I didn't mean that. I meant the information and media page are at the same style sheet, and the map page is a separate style sheet. The reason we did that is because these the information page, or analytic page, and the media page obviously need to look very similar. But the map page has a different format feel to it, so it needed a little bit different style. I don't think I answered your question. Can
Can you repeat it? Thanks, right.
I was more interested if you had given thought to a graphic artist